So I'm just going to introduce this quickly. This is fairly improvised, since I think a lot of people, when they got this problem, might have thought that this is quite interesting, since we have non-Newtonian properties, hysteresis effects, and an inhomogeneous fluid which we're working with. So we were actually advised by some people not to do this. But now, as we've seen the other presentations, we've changed our mind. Unfortunately, a bit too late. But here we go.
Yes. So our interpretation of the problem is to simply determine the droplet size dependence on the important parameters, just like most other people. And then you investigate a bit on the egg white properties, and more specifically vary the temperature and ejection speed, and see what happens with the droplets. So we start with some egg white theory. Egg whites are viscous, as you all know. So the device at like 65 degrees or something. It's inhomogeneous and thixotropic, and it has like these large structures which we heard Ukraine talk about. So we started with trying to measure the viscosity of egg whites by having this nice little setup with you can't see, with a slow motion camera, a cylinder filled with egg whites, and a small lead ball which you drop in it. Can you put up the video? So what we did was we filmed and tracked this little. We tracked the metal ball as it fell in the egg white, and we got quite interesting results. As you can see, its speed varies along when it falls. It starts out with accelerating, then decelerates, and then accelerates again. And there's a comparison of the results using egg white and water, and also pasteurized egg whites. That is egg whites which you can buy in the store box that has been cooked.
It is important to note that these bought egg whites were mixed, so the structure of them had been compromised.
Yeah, and we tried this experiment several times and got different results each time, which proves quite clearly that egg white is very inhomogeneous. So, to try and study this problem in a systematic manner, we constructed a setup with an automatic ejector, as you can see here, made out of Lego. And we also made this lovely thing, which drives the automatic syringe in a controlled manner. And then we put it above our little oil bath, and we filmed it, and measured the temperature using a thermometer. Nothing strange. And then we removed the egg white and looked at what we got. So let's show them some videos. Because
we're waiting for a video. In the meantime, I will say something I won't say often. Thank you, Denmark, for Lego.
Yeah, so. Yeah, naturally we also applied our 1000 FPS slow motion camera to this problem, and you can see a typical example here of what it looks like when the egg actually falls through the oil. And Max, do you want to comment?
Yes, you might have heard previous teams model this either with, I think you saw
Rayleigh tailoring stuff.
Rayleigh plateau instability, and however, did not consider a very interesting effect that we managed to capture. If you look closely here, it appears as if there's fluid inside of this, what we consider a membrane, moving. So what we actually have is a cover formed on the outside of this string of egg whites, and inside we have internal mass flow. So if we consider this, the width of this string of egg white, it seems pretty constant. However, as time progresses, the mass flow makes these valleys grow since, well, gravity. And here you can see the accumulation in these valleys of the egg whites.
Yeah, we can also make a comparison to the mixed eggs, which don't have these large, what's called heterostructures, making it stick together. Here we'll see it shortly. And the mixed eggs don't form this long string when one ejected. It separates. So let's go back to the actual presentation. Yeah, and we already showed you some videos. Not that much to say. We've said the most things already. So yeah, we tried. Here's the result for the two different egg types. Same ejection rate, same movement speed, completely different results since we've mixed the one of them. Yeah, and we actually devised a kind of odd method to analyze these results. It's based on image analysis. We take pictures of the egg whites, then we use a threshold algorithm to make them black and white, and then we trace the boundary of them using MATLAB. Yeah, sure. Whereafter we make a line along the egg blob and calculate the width along this. Yeah, okay, nice. And remarkably, this method is sort of stable. If you do it with different images on the same egg blob, we get sort of similar results, apart from these high peaks, which comes when the egg white twists a lot, and the width is calculated along its main axis. And it manages to replicate the area of the blobs. So here's our results for various fluids. Sadly, the egg whites often fell on top of itself, so we couldn't apply the algorithm. But as you can see, what can I see? Yeah, there's a small difference, and then we get more and smaller blobs for high flow rates. Yeah, so here's 3.5 milliliters per second, and on the right one, 17 milliliters per second.
So as you can see that the flow rate is clearly affecting the number of these pearls generated. If we consider the temperature and vary it, we see that at higher temperatures, the egg will naturally solidify much faster. And if we check with our theory, we have that it's actually not that we have inhomogeneities in the beginning, but that these are actually formed by these valleys and the internal mass flow. We can see that it's actually a very good prediction, since as we increase the temperature, we suddenly won't see these large pearls, which means that this string, which is passing down, manages to solidify before this internal mass flow manages to create these large pearls. And here we can see that the solidification time depends on temperature. It appears to be an exponential decrease.
Decay.
Oh, yeah.
and you can make it
an exponential decay, and at temperatures which are really high, like 140, 130 degrees, it solidifies in a matter of 1 or 2 seconds. And then then the results will however make sense. Yeah, here we actually managed to apply our algorithm, and we see that the standard deviation in the width along this line actually decrease for higher temperatures. We didn't really finish this method completely, but you see a clear trend towards smaller fluctuations along the egg blob for higher temperatures. So now I think you made these slides.
Yeah, I will go through this. From what we've seen, it's clearly that there is some kind of, that the inhomogeneity of the egg whites are leading to this. And thus we thought, what is the least complicated model we could use to actually predict this? Is it possible that it's simply by varying one parameter we could actually achieve this? And the inhomogeneity leads to varying flow rate because, of course, we will have various viscosity. The viscosity varies by a factor of 4. It's 10 up to 10, just considering one sample of egg. So the flow rate will vary a lot. So we thought, well, let's try a simple simulation and simulate what we've done with a stochastic flow rate and see whether this would affect or not. All right. So here we simulate without, in this case, turbulence, since in the lower regions where we actually see these, now between 0 and 0.4, in these regions we have a very low Reynolds number and low turbulence. So we thought, let's just neglect turbulence to see whether this phenomenon is simply the result of a varying flow rate. And the results we got shows here we have a low flow rate, but it's still the same relative difference or error in the magnitude of the flow rate. And the next one will show much higher flow rate, but still the same standard deviation. And we can see that just by varying the flow rate, we will naturally have this curvature that we saw in the video, and which corresponds to the data very well that we showed in the beginning. Now this is mostly nonsense. You can see here.
Yeah.
Yes. The question is, why didn't we present this, perhaps, earlier? Because, well, first off, the presentation isn't finished at all. This is pretty much worthless. That was because we were not encouraged to solve it because, well, you can ask, I don't think our team leaders were, well, you can ask our team leaders. No, so we didn't really make anything else of this. Here we can see some more results. So we thought, well, it's not worth presenting at all, and not worth continuing working on it, because we could have had a presentation. Yes. So why? Another reason was we thought, well, perhaps the jury wouldn't appreciate this. So we're going to model the jury using a stochastic process. I don't know if we will see any difference.
Yeah, we do this because we want to make our own assessment of whether this is a problem worth presenting or not. So we start with using the overlord as a characteristic judge And we also included our team leader, Joel, to capture a wider range of judges. And we use the parameters of the overlord to create our stochastic model. So, what are the important parameters of the overlord? Yeah, first it's the height.
I don't know if we have any judges with negative height in here. In that case, that would be a physical revelation. This is actually taken from this year's competition, the mean reported rate, and I don't know what deviation it is, but
yeah, we found this data in the literature. We also modeled Joel. I think he's slightly taller and more powerful than Andreas. But he's got a lower report rate, so he might have this influence. Yeah, we have a simulation of this, which we would like to show you. This is one. Sure, we simulated the thought process of the judges as stochastic processes. Yeah. So we did get quite good rates. However, we didn't do the simulation until it was too late to actually present the problem solution.
so if we would have been a bit more encouraged, this might have been good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.